the Jedi.
Nominee number one is Joe Kerr, SWCE. I don't know. They identify as a they them, just by the way. Now, this is sort of a two-part because it's in the same thread. So the start of it is, for all of Kenobi's faults, it did give us the coolest saber duel in the Disney era, and the best Vader moment outside of the original trilogy. Now, I'd argue that the best Vader moment outside of the original trilogy is in Rogue One, despite that having its flaws.
That's a low bar.
And it is a low bar. But this fight, this is another one where he uses, the Force with his hand to stop the saber from hitting him and stuff like that. And of course, it's just the fight between him and Reva, right? So apparently this is the best we've seen of Vader. But this
Vader's
is
barely even trying and lazily, casually fighting. Okay.
Yeah. But I also want to show you this Pedro's response or comment to it. Does Vader have any cool moments in the original trilogy? I mean, I think his voice is cool, but that's his voice, not cool moments. And I agree, Disney's Vader is the best.
Wow. I don't know. I think the moment where he lowers his lightsaber and starts ripping shit off of the walls and throwing it at Luke Skywalker is pretty fucking badass.
Even the fight in the Emperor's throne room.
Yeah.
There are so many incredible Vader moments in the original trilogy. So anyway, that, like I said, is a bit of a two-parter. I had to read the original tweet. It's mainly this person that's actually being nominated, right? Because that response,
Disney Vader's retarded. He couldn't figure out how to get past a little bit of fire, the same fire he snuffed out with the Force 5 seconds ago. Holy cow!
Yeah. And the thing is, I always look at things like this and I think exactly that, fake fan. You can't tell me that you were a Star Wars fan if you honestly think this. That Vader's has no cool moments in the originals. It's a cool voice,
when he
not
puts
cool
out his
moments.
hand and fucking takes the shots and grabs Han's fucking gun.
Yeah.
That wasn't cool.
No, not at all. So anyway, that is nominee number one. I think that's a great start for this week.
That's a solid fucking start. You're going to have some whoppers to beat that, in my opinion.
Well, Dan is back again. Dan, good old Dan. All right, here we go. The fall and rise of Ben Skywalker will always be an essential part
Ben Solo.
What did I say?
Don't call him Ben Skywalker. That's a completely different character from a better version.
Shit. Oh, shit. Let me start again. I'm so sorry. OG, you're going to have to forgive me. All right, let's go again. Dan, with the rise and fall of Ben Solo will always be an essential part of Star Wars for me and is one of my favorite stories in the saga. I'm sorry, but he's really got no fucking story. He's a fucking whiny little bitch, and the story is fucking stupid, especially this part of the story is fucking stupid.
Well, and his fall is not, the story of his fall isn't even told. It's
no.
Oh, Snoke fooled him.
Fooled you.
Fooled you. Fooled you because he hated his daddy for some reason. He was a spoiled child that got groomed by Snoke.
Yep.
But that was all told in a couple lines of dialogue. We didn't see. There's no fall.
No. We get an implied fall, and then his ability to maintain that dark sideness is fucking stupid as well. Anyway, Dan gets another nomination at number 2. Number 3, we have Star Wars Facts and News saying Parallels of Luke's entrance. Let me pause this. Parallels of Luke's entrance. Return of the Jedi, 1983. The Last Jedi, 2017. That's it.
In both movies, he talked.
Well, he's not even there in The Rise of Skywalker either.
Right. Like, wow. Okay.
Yep. So that's number 3. There's
people
not really
that
much
want to connect these things, they'll be like, okay, but you're taking mundane things and like, oh, wow, this mundane thing is in this movie and this mundane thing is in this movie.
Yeah.
It would be like saying that like American Graffiti is the same as Fast and the Furious 9 because there's steering wheels.
But see, also too, like you got to remember this scene in Return of the Jedi, that was planned.
Yeah.
Everything that happened with like coming. Luke knew that this was how things were going to go down. This, he's not even there, number one. He's just projecting himself, Skype calling himself across the galaxy. And I'm sorry.
Yeah, interesting though how that like these things, these force projections don't leave footprints in the salt sand.
Yeah,
but they do cast shadows.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting.
Like, no wonder he pooped himself to death. Like he had to like, not only did he have to like force project himself, he had to go to like a next level of light shading to render the effects of a shadow.
Of a shadow.
Yeah.
Well, that's number 3. Number 4 is, do you want to read this one? I know I read it before, but just for the sake of, I'll probably edit the video
Sure.
out.
Making Star Wars announces that the Ahsoka series will show us the battle of Ahsoka and Vader on Malachor in a live performance.
So again, this is the scene from Rebels that they're saying that is going to be put into live action. I don't know why we need to see it again in live action. I think it would look stupid in live action. I think if they do it, the only reason why they want to do it is because, you know, they mirrored the helmet being shaved off in the Kenobi show. So they, and not everybody watches the animated stuff. So they want to, you know, bring the gravitas of that battle, that fight between those two to the live action screen. And I wonder if they're even going to be able to do it any justice.
Well, and this is the moment that Ahsoka realizes that Vader is Anakin.
Yeah.
Correct? So,
correct.
I mean, like, I could see them wanting to try and recapture that moment for the show. So, like,
yeah.
I don't.
But I honestly don't know how Rosario Dawson's going to look doing this flip over Vader to like slash his mask off and shit like that, because
it's not going to be her.
No. So those are your 3 nominations.
It'll look like Grogu doing a flip in the previous episode. It'll look that bad.
A puppet.
Like somebody tossed a rag doll of Ahsoka over his head.
Yeah. So those are your 4 nominees for this week. I still think that this one is definitely the strongest out of all of them.
Oh, yeah. 1 is by far.
Yep. So 1, 2,
for me,
3, and 4. I'm going to put the poll in the chat. Disney.
Oops, I mean, because I'll make the case for number 1 here, because that's who I'm going to lobby for. Not only is he saying like the Disney Vader is good, which is objectively false. They made him retarded in the Kenobi show, but then he goes that extra step and shits on original trilogy Darth Vader.
Yep. Poll is in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. The poll is in the chat.
This better be a runaway.
Yeah, I agree. All right, I'm going to end the poll for Disney Star Wars Seal of the Week. It was a blowout, exactly how we wanted it to go. So let me just share my screen really quickly.
Oh, wow. 4 got 0.
Yeah. Okay. So I got to go back to this screen. In last place, we had this take in regards to making Star Wars announces that Ahsoka series will show us the battle of Ahsoka and Vader on Malachor in a live performance. So with 0 votes.
That's the one that won the runoff?
Yeah, that was the one. Again,
the history of the runoffs, they don't do very well in the finals.
No, it's very true. In second last place was number 3 with parallels of Luke's entrance between Return of the Jedi and the Last Jedi.
Yeah, and it's just, that one is like, it's stupid, but
yeah,
you know.
Runner-up, Dan again. He seems to always get the runner-ups. I tell ya, it always seems to be the case. But Dan, with the fall and rise of Ben Solo, will always be an essential part of Star Wars for me, and is one of my favorite stories in the saga. Okay, it's a pretty shit take, and it's a pretty silly.
Pretty much just a rip off of Anakin, only like way worse.
Yeah,
but okay.
Yeah, and then in the winner for this week's Seal of the Week goes to Joe Kerr and Pedro with this take. For all of Kenobi's faults, it did give us the coolest saber duel in the Disney era and the best Vader moment outside of the original trilogy. Now, I like how he puts in there that it's outside the original trilogy, but then you've got Pedro here saying, does Vader have any cool moments in the original trilogy? I mean, I think his voice is cool, but that's his voice, not cool moments. And I agree, Disney's Vader is the best. Congratulations, you fucking idiots. You win.
Just wrong on so many levels.
So many levels. You win this week's Disney Seal of the Week.
Hello, the Jedi.